friends and spiritual travelers, Mystic Owl here, aka Nathan. Today we have another pick a card reading for you. Today's theme is, how can you attract more abundance and have more success, create more success in your life? So we're going to touch on anything that maybe is holding you back, some mindsets you may need to change, or things that you need to do in reality to actually allow you to have more abundance and success in your life. So we have 4 piles for you today. We have pile 1 with the leopard jasper. Pile 2 is with the clear quartz seer stone. Pile 3 is with the hematite stone. And pile 4 is with the harlequin jasper stone. We'll start with the oracle cards. We'll get some further messages from the tarot, and we'll finish off with the universe has your back deck as a closeout message. As per usual, please use your intuition to choose a pile. Remember, this is a general reading, so take any that which resonates with you and leave the rest behind. Thank you all for being here with me and for watching my videos and supporting me. I'm greatly appreciative. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and let's get started with pile number 1. Hello, welcome pile 1 with the lovely leopard jasper stone. Let's find out how you can have more success and create more abundance in your life. We'll start with your oracle cards. You have the words of abundance. That's lovely. You have the ability to instantly manifest abundance by choosing powerfully positive words. Always describe your own and the world's economic situation in loving and optimistic terms. And that is what you attract for yourself and others. It's really interesting because it's kind of hard to talk about the world's economic situation in positive terms right now. I guess, when things go down, it's a good time to start something new, in a sense. So, yeah, interesting. I love that you got the words of abundance in your actual card too. That's beautiful. Huh. You have the card of success. Lovely. I think that's a really positive omen for you. And you have number 13 and awareness. Interesting. Okay. Firstly, I just want to start by saying I think your spirit guides have a bit of a sense of humor, pile 1. I love that you've got the words of abundance card, and then you have the word success, as in like starting to emanate and spread out like positivity, communicating what it is that you want, positive affirmations in a sense. I really do see this is about you changing your mindset a little bit. This may be a group that's been through a bit of a hard time recently. Maybe you haven't been seeing the success that you were hoping for. I totally know what that's like with my channel. Working on it, I want to see more growth, but it's taking time, but it's all about trusting that it will happen, right? I think this is just about you trying to be a little bit more positive about your current situation in a sense, and maybe trying to change your mindset a little bit by replacing things with more positive affirmations. I do get slightly annoyed when I watch videos and it says stuff like, you just need to be positive and that will bring in success for you. That's not true. We're human beings. We have the light and the dark, right? The shadow and the light. We go through ups and downs, just like the moon cycle. We're all connected to the universe, and like everything else in this universe, there's duality, ups and downs. So maybe you've been through a phase quite recently where you've been feeling a little bit negative or feeling a bit down on yourself, and that's completely okay, pile 1. It's about now being more aware of the things that you're telling yourself, being aware of how you're feeling, and consciously trying to shift that a little bit. Maybe trying to change your mindset. Over time, if we start affirming positivity and replacing anything that we might be saying in our mind that might be a little bit negative, or like of a poverty mindset or a lacking mindset potentially, with being grateful for what we have, consciously choosing to be more positive, we start to radiate that energy out in a sense, when our inner world reflects our outer world. So that's a bit of a cliche too, but it's quite true. Like, I've noticed myself through doing a lot of personal changes, getting more structured in my day-to-day life, cutting out certain habits that weren't serving me, meditating daily, exercising daily, starting to feel more happy and more at peace with who I am as a person, in a sense. I really started to see things in my external world start to change. Like, communication with birds and nature and stuff like that, feeling more connected with the world around you. Things like problems that I was having previously started to fall away, and I also started to gain the confidence in a sense of how to actually overcome any challenges that I was having previously. But it all starts just by choosing to change your mindset on this very day right now. So in terms of you having more success, I think, firstly, it's about being more positive and allowing yourself to move on from this sort of like down phase that you're feeling right now. Lifting yourself up, trying to affirm and be grateful for what you have, and projecting positivity out. Like the card there that says success, like really starting to believe and project positivity out. Start saying things to yourself that lift you up, like, I am amazing. I am successful. I love what I do. I love myself. People thoroughly enjoy being around me, things like that. And if you continue to do that day in, day out over time, you really start to believe in these things, and you'll start to see things starting to fall into place around you also. Moving on from that, here at the full moon eclipse, conclusions are within reach. And you have the mutable moon. Nothing is yet set in stone. Okay. The mutable moon is lovely in the sense because it's a reminder that things change in reality. Like, change is inevitable. I am sensing that this is a group that maybe has struggled to manifest recently. You've been putting a lot of work into a certain endeavor, and you haven't been seeing or receiving the rewards that you thought that you deserved with the efforts you're putting in. I think sometimes we just got to remember that, like, things take time to grow in this 3D earthly realm. Like, growth is slow. How long did it take you to become an adult? Like 18 years, right? Sometimes we need to do a lot more work in the background in order for things to take off over time. So try not to get too down on yourself if you're feeling as if you're not seeing the rewards that you've been putting in. Remember that, yeah, things take time to grow. But with the full moon eclipse there, conclusions are within reach. I just see, actually, that card actually generally talks about, like, one door closing and having to open another door, but I really see this as a positive omen. Sitting there next to the success card, remembering full moons are about a climax, like the end of a certain cycle and almost the beginning of a new cycle. And it says in the book, the full moon eclipse, the eclipse is like the full moon on steroids. So I really think very, very soon you will start to see the rewards for your efforts, but most definitely, there's a message here of continuing to believe in yourself. Try not to, like, get too down on yourself. Really, truly believe that what you're working on will have the success that you're after. But right now, you're just in a phase of, like, I guess, gaining the confidence within. Remembering that, you know, if we want to be successful, we have to believe in ourselves. Absolutely. That is the most important aspect of having success in life. We can't get anywhere if we're negative or down on ourselves, because then we don't have the motivation that we need to actually get out there and do the things that we need to do. We don't surround ourselves with people that affirm that positivity. It's easy to allow other people to, like, sway our mindsets and stuff. So really, it starts with you, Pile 1. In terms of having more success and creating more abundance in your life, I think most definitely for Pile 1, it's about changing your mindset and being more positive. Moving on from that, and I just want to reiterate also using, like, words of abundance, affirmations that affirm to the universe that you are starting to believe in yourself and that you truly believe that you do deserve success in the future. Let's see what further messages we have for Pile 1 from the Commonplace Tarot. Spirit, can we get some further messages, please, for Pile 1? About how they can create more success in their life and create more abundance. Ooh. Remembering also too that you do have the card there of success. I mean, I thought that was quite funny that it was an affirmation, a word of abundance, right? But it is the card of success, indicating that success lies within your future. Just keep working too. I think this is also a group that I do sense maybe in the past you may have like given up too easily, and if something didn't work out, you know, as fast as you were hoping for. I think you're learning a lesson here also, Power One, of perseverance and commitment, like learning to commit to yourself in terms of changing your mindset, but also committing to a project that you're working on, committing to whatever it is that you want to have success with. And be kind to yourself too, Power One. It takes time to change bad habits, right? Old habits die hard is the expression. So give yourself time to like really start to feel the effects of positive affirmations, because that's the very first step for you to actually creating more success. And then along with, you know, perseverance and commitment, of course. Any further messages, please, Spirit, for pile number 1? How can they have more abundance and create more success? Ooh, okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, so the 2 cards that have come out, you've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and you have the Hierophant in reverse. This really talks to me about a lack of commitment, a lack of commitment, essentially, that maybe you do give up too easily in the past and you've changed your path. With the mutable moon there too, nothing is yet set in stone. I think maybe this is a group that when you haven't had instant success, or you feel as if you're not getting anywhere in a project, then maybe you've given up and shifted onto something new. But I'm really sensing with this group that commitment and perseverance is one of the other lessons that you're learning right now too. The Wheel of Fortune and the Hierophant in reverse really wants you to start getting more dedicated to the things that you're working on, creating a solid routine and sticking to that routine, doing the things that you need to do day in, day out that will lead you towards creating the abundance in your life that you actually want. I sense that maybe also too with the Wheel of Fortune there in reverse, that you go through cycles of like maybe feeling as if the universe has been a bit hard on you. Things may have happened in your life that were unfair, and because of that you tend to get quite down on yourself and start to feel as if maybe you can't get out of like this poverty, this lack of poverty, or a feeling as if like you won't have success in your future is what I'm getting. But once again, it all comes back to you trying to be more aware of the things that you tell yourself and choosing to replace those negative thoughts with positive thoughts day in, day out, with the Hierophant there too. Day in, day out, affirming positivity to the universe. Ooh. You have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And you also have the 10 of Wands in reverse. Interesting. You got 2 10s with the Wheel of Fortune there and the 10 of Wands in reverse. And you have the full moon eclipse, which is the conclusions are within reach. So you're ending this phase, I think. I think you're starting to become more aware with the awareness card there too, Power One. You are becoming more aware of, I guess, certain patterns or behaviors that you know are holding you back in a sense. And with the Hierophant, I see you really starting to try and change your mindset and becoming more disciplined and getting into a solid routine about like believing in yourself and also committing to your project, doing the things day in, day out that actually you need to do to, you know, garner success in your life. I like to think that cards in reverse are the potential for that energy. It's like kinetic energy. I like to think that it's just sitting there waiting, but when you're ready, you can tap into it. So with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Wands, the 10 of Wands in reverse, you've got some really positive cards here, Power One. You're almost at the end of this cycle of hardship, I see. With the Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles in reverse, like that's a fresh start, right? Almost like a new moon in a sense. It kind of reminds me of a moon, like an orb. So I do see a new beginning for you, absolutely. It's just about you, like, you may have been through some really troubling times too, with the 10 of Wands there. You felt like, you know, there were a lot of burdens on your back. When we're going through hardships and we believe that the life we're living is just really difficult, then that is affirmed in our life too. As I mentioned earlier, it's like for like. When you're feeling really down on yourself and you're thinking as if like you're never going to have success and you're always going to struggle, then the universe confirms that by giving you more bills. You may have fines to pay. things happen in your life that you need to hand out money and there's no more money coming in. But I see you starting to change your mindset already. You're letting go of those wands, you're letting go of the burdens, you're starting to believe in yourself again. Or at least you're realizing that you're becoming more aware of the things that you're saying and starting to really try and change your mindset and lift yourself up. So I commend you on that, pile one. And that's where it starts in terms of creating more abundance and success in your life. For you, it's all about really committing to yourself in terms of believing in yourself and changing your mindset, telling yourself positive things and affirming that to the universe, but also, getting real and committing day in, day out to what it is that you want. I just think there's a lesson here for you about commitment, trying not to give up too easily. So persevere, pile one, that's what I get for you. Let's get a closeout message for you from the Universe Has Your Back deck. Spirit, can we get a closeout message, please, for pile number one? Oop. There it is. Thank you, Universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perceptions so that I can see what is of the highest good. There you go. I love that, expanding your perceptions. I think that's what's happening to you, in a sense. You're becoming more aware of the reality that you're creating by the things that you're saying and the things that you're believing, changing your mindsets and getting rid of any beliefs that just are holding you back. And I think that's really beautiful. Good on you, pile one. Keep working. That's all I have for you. I hope that resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, if you really got something out of this reading and you think it might benefit somebody else that's going through a hard time right now, I'd love it if you could share it on with them. That would be great. I wish you a beautiful day, and let's move on to pile two. Hello, welcome pile two with the clear quartz seer stone. Let's find out how you can create more abundance in your life and have more success. We'll start with your oracle cards. You have the Pay Yourself First card. Make yourself your most important financial obligation by setting aside a portion of your income every time you are paid. This loving form of self-care ensures that you will have savings to invest in your present and your future. Okay. You have number 20 and Go With The Flow. You also have the card of Romance, which is really interesting. We'll start with those cards. Interesting, you've got the Pay Yourself First card here. This is really more about self-care than anything. I think putting money aside when you get paid is kind of an obvious way to start growing income, right? And creating abundance, creating wealth. So I do sense that that's something that obviously if you're not doing, then maybe pile two you can consider doing in terms of creating more abundance for yourself, having money for a rainy day in a sense. But I really just see a lot of these cards being about self-care. With the Romance card there, it's interesting, how can romance create more abundance? But of course, in a way it does, because when we're in a loving relationship with somebody, we're, radiating positivity and really enjoying life. And when you are putting out positive vibes to the universe, then that's matched back to you, right? It's like for like, it's the law of attraction. I think when you're in a relationship, not to say that you need to be in a relationship, my point is, I guess, that the Romance card I really see is about loving yourself first, putting yourself first in a sense. I do sense that maybe this is a group that maybe has struggled with maybe putting other people's needs before their own, that you have potentially given a lot of time and energy, even resources and money potentially piled to other people, and maybe you haven't been able to create abundance in your own life because you've been giving all of your energy and resources to other people. And I think what the universe is trying to say here with these three cards is about looking after your own needs first, doing the things for yourself first that will allow you to, in a very practical way, create more abundance and success in your life. So putting money aside, looking after your health in a sense. We need to look after our health so that we have more energy to be able to do the things that we have to do in reality to create abundance. getting quite real and grounded, dedicating time and energy onto your own projects and at work, in a sense, like doing all of those things that you can for yourself that ensure that you will have success in the future, is what I'm getting from the cards. I do also see too with the number 20 and go with the flow, this card talks about maybe getting a little bit frustrated too easily when you're not seeing the rewards for your efforts. I do sense that potentially this is a group that loses interest or changes their mind quite quickly if you're not seeing the growth and success instantly. Similar to pile 1, there was a similar message there about learning to be patient, have perseverance and commitment to a project. But what I am also seeing here with the pay yourself first and the go with the flow card, I do see that this is a group that maybe does go through ups and downs with your finances. You have times where you put money away and you feel good about it, but then things happen in your life that you need to get rid of that money. So this is a group that may go through cycles of ups and downs with money, and you're not really seeing a lot of growth in terms of your financial rewards and assets because you have to hand it out a lot of times. And I did mention earlier that maybe that's because you give it away to other people or something like that. I am also sensing that this is possibly a group that like maybe spends a bit too much. Take what resonates, pile 2. I'm not being critical. You know, we all have things in life that we need to learn, but I do sense that this is a group that maybe overspends a little bit. That when you're feeling frustrated and feeling down, maybe you go out shopping and splurge to buy new things to lift your spirits. You may, try and treat yourself a bit too much sometimes just to try and put yourself back into a positive mindset. And there's nothing really wrong with that. It's just about making sure that you get the balance right so that you're not using or spending all of your money. And it's most definitely a lesson that I'm learning myself, because I have in the past had some issues with my finances, and it's something that I've had to learn to break bad habits, to learn to get more real about like saving money. I'm slowly but surely getting there, pile 2. And I think in time you will too. Interesting, what I'm also seeing with the cards too, pile 2, with the romance card. Firstly, as I mentioned, I think it's about loving yourself and putting yourself first. Saving money for yourself, not giving all of your time and energy to other people. But I am sensing this as a group that maybe could create more abundance and success in your life by maybe starting a joint venture with your partner. If you have a loved one or a partner, there may be something that you have in common that you've always wanted to do that might be like a side venture that could bring in more money, potentially. So something to keep in mind there. And with the go with the flow card, you could start small and over time it grows and grows and grows, the more energy and effort you put into it over time. Just something that I'm seeing with the cards as a bit of a sidebar. Moving on from that, you have the new moon in Sagittarius. Luck is on your side. That's a beautiful card. Very optimistic. And you have the new moon in Gemini. Okay, communication is key. 2 new moons. Yeah, most definitely I'm seeing for you, pile 2, that it could be, in terms of creating more abundance and having more success. And when I think of abundance, mostly we think about money and resources, right? It's not necessarily always about that. Abundance is all about being grateful for everything that you have in your reality also, the people that you love, the house that you live in, the car that you drive in. Even being abundant with how we feel with ourselves, like feeling a lot of love for ourselves in a sense. But I am seeing from the cards, absolutely, that if there is something that you've wanted to start, that you've been thinking about creating, maybe in a joint venture with your loved one, with the romance card here. With the 2 new moons here and the Sagittarius card, new moon and Sagittarius, luck is on your side. If you create something that you've always wanted to start, I see you having a lot of success with it. That it's called moonlighting, I think. It's one of the other Angels of Abundance cards has a card about moonlighting. I don't think it came out for this reading though, which is all about like starting something new but working on it part-time whilst you're still working on your full-time job. And as you get more and as it grows and grows through time and you have more and more success with it, then you can put more energy into it, more effort into it, more time into it, until eventually it becomes like your full-time job, the thing that you're passionate about, and it creates its own abundance in a sense. So I do see that if you wanted to start something new, it may even be like an online business, like a role with Amazon selling products, or maybe starting your own YouTube channel like I have, something that you can do in your own spare time, then over time you will have success with that. So that's something to think about too. And with the new moon in Gemini, communication is key. Interesting, they've got the twins there with Gemini falling next to the romance card, which is all about duality and somebody else too, doing something with someone else, having a loving relationship with somebody else. I think maybe there's some advice here that you could get some advice or seek some advice from a professional counselor, like a career counselor or even a financial counselor, about how to grow your assets in a sense. Maybe like investing money in the stocks is something that you could do. I just get the sense from the cards pile too that you could do something on the side from your standard job or your standard business that will also grow and blossom into something else. So maybe seeking advice with the communication is key card here from a professional that can give you some hot tips on what it is you need to do to start your own business or what you should invest in or something like that. Because I'm not a professional, so take what resonates. But yes, definitely a message about like looking after your own needs first, making sure that you put some money away. Don't spend all of your money at once when you get paid. Looking after your own needs, taking care of your body, eating healthily, stuff like that, so that you have more energy to be able to invest time and effort into your work and your projects. And of course, like giving yourself the time to actually work on the things that you need to work on. Moving on from that pile too, let's get some further messages for you about how you can create more success in your life and create more abundance in your life and have more success. Spirit, can we get some further messages, please, for pile 2? Ooh. Okay. Interesting, you've got the Six of Pentacles there, which is all about giving and receiving, about sharing your wealth. The Pay It Forward card, Pay Yourself First, is all about looking after your own needs. But I just think that also maybe it's about getting the balance right for you, pile 2. In terms of like creating abundance, we have to let the energy flow, right? Go with the flow. It needs to flow through us. So money is also an energy. It's another energy. It's not just this thing that's hard to come by. It's another energy form. And energy goes where energy flows, right? So by giving and receiving, like looking after your own needs, absolutely, and putting some money aside. But also like, I guess we were talking about this being a group that maybe overspends or something like that. But I think you do need to get out there and actually do that too. Like, don't let the money stop with you. Try not to hold too tightly onto the money. So this also could be a group that maybe is feeling or is expressing an energy of lack by the things that you do with your resources. If you're holding too tightly to the money that comes in and you're not letting it you're not giving it out or sharing it with the people around you and with the universe in a sense, then the energy can't flow through you, right? Sometimes we need to spend to make more money in a sense also. So take what resonates, as I said earlier. And it's all about balance too with the Six of Pentacles, like getting that fine balance between putting money aside, but also spending what you need to spend and sharing your wealth too. I do sense that this is a group that probably could get some help or assistance from a financial counselor about getting that balance right. If you've been having trouble like accumulating wealth, I think pile 2, it's about changing the way you look at money in a sense and changing your habits associated with money. Any further messages, please, Spirit, with pile number 2 about creating more success and creating more abundance and having success. No, that's it for you. So you also have the Four of Wands, and you have the Death card in reverse. There's the Six of Pentacles. There's a strong indication for you, pile 2, that maybe doing something at home. It says with the pay yourself first card, the romance card, and the Four of Wands, which is kind of a homecoming, spending time at home. I am just picking up on a group that would do really, really well starting your own side business from home, doing something from home that can create more wealth, thinking about doing something that you're passionate about, that you can create abundance from. Maybe you have a creative talent and you're wondering whether you will have success at it or not. I do sense that absolutely you will have success if you put some energy and time aside to do that. Spending time at home doing the things that you love is a way for you to create abundance, in the sense of you choose to monetize it somehow by maybe starting a YouTube channel, investing, maybe making or creating things that you love and selling them somehow in like a market or something like that is another way for you to create success. And getting the balance right between your work life and I guess your side business at home too, with the Six of Pentacles. But with the Death card in reverse here, this just indicates like a resistance to changing habits, right? Death is all about like changing aspects of ourselves that are holding us back from being a better person and being the person that we want to be. But when it's in reverse, it can talk about resistance to change. I think maybe there's some issues here, as I mentioned, with the Six of Pentacles and the Pay Yourself First card, along with the Go with the Flow card, that this group may have some issues with accumulating wealth because of how you see money and how you actually, address your monetary issues. You may have some issues like getting the balance right in terms of spending and receiving. You may spend all of your money as soon as you get it, pile 2. Or potentially even you're not spending at all and you're just holding on to it, but you're wondering why you're not accumulating more success, like you're getting more and more bills to pay and more debts to pay, needing to help other people too. So for you, most definitely it's about changing habits that aren't working for you, learning to save money and put money aside for yourself. But also I just see here that this is a group that really could do well with starting something new, starting a side project, getting that balance right between like your career and something that you want to start on the side, absolutely. Spending more time at home with the people that you love, doing the things that you love is a way for you to create abundance, because it also puts you in a positive mindset too. When you're doing the things that you love, you're radiating positive energy, things are more in flow and energy can come towards you. And as I mentioned earlier, money is just another energy. Finally for you, pile 2, let's get a closeout message from the universe as your back deck. Spirit, can we get a closeout message please for pile number 2? Okay. So you got the card of I honor how I want to feel. I think that's just a beautiful sentiment. I think we all want to create more abundance and success in our life, right? And I think that card is generally indicating to be, don't be ashamed of that. Don't feel, sometimes we can allow ourselves to feel like maybe greedy or selfish if we want to put ourselves first. I think this is for you. There's a strong message for you, pile 2, about learning to look after your own needs before other people's. Learning to put money aside first. With I honor how I want to feel, it's about you being okay with wanting to be successful and wanting to create more abundance in your life, and actually like honoring that and then doing the things that will take you closer to that. Putting your own needs first before other people is a very important lesson for you, is what I'm getting from the cards, absolutely. And, maybe choosing to do something that you love also and focusing on that, because I just sense from the cards that you could create another side business, and that's definitely a way for you to bring more money in. That's all I have for you, pile 2. I hope that resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, if you felt like this was like beneficial to you and you think it might benefit somebody else that wants to create more abundance in their life, I'd love it if you could share it on. That would be great. I wish you a beautiful day, and let's move on to pile 3. Hello, welcome pile 3 with the Hematite stone. Let's find out how you can create more abundance in your life and have more success. We'll start with the Oracle cards. You have the No More Complaining card. Okay. Complaints are affirmations of victimhood, which is never really true spiritually. Take back your God-given power by affirming that you have an abundance of choices and freedom. With your increased confidence and assertiveness, watch these positive affirmations blossom into reality. Okay. Similar message there to pile 1. Oh, you have the card of prosperity. Okay, beautiful. Number 32. Ooh. And you have the reconsider card. Right. What I'm seeing for you, pile 3, is that maybe you are stuck in a mindset of lacking, in a sense, not having enough, a scarcity mindset, that you feel as if like life's been a little bit hard for you, and it probably has actually, and I do empathize with you, pile 3. But the problem with like choosing to believe that our life is hard, or buying into that mindset that we don't have what we want, or we will never have what we want, or that we don't have the assets that we need to be able to create abundance, is that we tend to like cycle through that over and over, remembering that the universe works through the law of attraction, that the things that we think then end up becoming the things that we create in our own reality. So if you're choosing to believe that you don't have anything, or that you don't have abundance, that you don't have enough money, you'll never have enough money, then that's exactly the reality that you're going to get. Not only because you're projecting those thoughts and that energy out, but in terms of actually getting out there and doing things when you're feeling as if you're kind of stuck and nothing's working out for you, you don't have the energy to do anything either, so you're not actually going out there and taking action. So for you, I love that you've got the no more complaining. This card talks about turning your thoughts and those complaints into positive affirmations, right? Which is very similar to pile 1 in a sense. This reading is similar already to pile 1 about choosing to change your mindset and actually consciously affirming more positive things to the universe. And slowly over time, when you start to affirm more positivity in your life, you actually start to feel it too. You lift your spirits, you change those bad habits, you're not so negative and down on yourself. The self-doubt starts to fade away in a sense. Like, I love that you've got Archangel Michael here holding the sword, like cutting away those negative thought patterns that aren't serving you and starting to like replace them with more positivity in your life, is what I'm getting. So also with the card of prosperity, once again, like prosperity is a very positive omen, right? It means that prosperity is definitely coming your way from this card. I sense that absolutely. So you just need to believe that you will have success in the future. Absolutely, pile 3. If you now start to choose to change your mindset and actually affirm more positive thoughts and beliefs. But this card actually in the book talks about a scarcity mindset. It's very similar to pile 1, as I mentioned. So maybe the actions, because you believe that like money is hard to come by, is what I'm getting for you, pile 3. And that money goes too easily. You may be trying to hold on to money too tightly. And so there's a need to allow that money to flow, because money is just another energy, right? And energy goes where energy flows. So if you are like giving and receiving money, then you allow more abundance to come to you. And I know that seems counterintuitive, but it's something that I'm learning in my life. When you're actually getting out there and living life and having fun and not so much dwelling on the negatives in your life, spending money, doing things that lift your spirits up, then you allow more wealth to come in. Like you're taking your mindset away from that negativity and actually just enjoying the time that you're having right now. So I think there's a message for you to try and lift your spirits and believe that you will have like more success in the future. And I get from the reconsider card, this is another confirmation about reconsidering the thoughts that you're having. Noting that there's a lot of blue in the prosperity and in the reconsider card associated with your mind, your throat chakra, the way that you communicate and the things that you say to yourself. This really is just about starting to replace those thoughts with affirmations and positivity. And then when you get into a place where you start to like feel better about yourself, you have more energy to do the things that you want. And when you've got more energy, you can focus more on getting real about making real practical changes in your life, in a sense. It's hard to believe, I know, and it's almost a bit of a cliche in tarot, people saying that like your inner world reflects your outer world, but it's very, very true. I've done a lot of work on myself over the last 2 or 3 years. I was in a job that I hated. I had some really, really poor like money habits, and I'll talk about that in future videos when I get the confidence to talk about those things. I was almost really thoroughly depressed, and then things happened in my reality that like, it was almost a tower moment in my life where I lost my job and I had to start addressing those habits that weren't working for me. I've spent a lot of time in meditation, and I really started to focus on changing those thought patterns that just weren't working for me. And over time you start to see things change in your reality. I was getting bills left, right, and center, and fines for parking my car in the wrong spot. And now those things don't happen anymore. I mean, I still got bills to pay, of course, but I don't get like unexpected fines in the mail anymore. I started to see things in reality literally around me that I'd never noticed before, like the vibrancy of colors of flowers. I've started to notice like a deeper connection with nature, and animals sort of like coming up and communicating with me a little bit more signs and synchronicities, in sense, like when you start to choose to be more positive within yourself, like that is affirmed and created in your reality around you, and it's really, really beautiful, and it just inspires you to keep going. It inspires you to keep making more changes. So it really just starts with your Pile 3 about choosing to change your mindset. Try not to look at money as something that's hard to come by. Try to like be grateful for the things that you do have, and actually get out there and just live your life the way that you want to live it, and eventually those changes will happen almost organically. Moving on from that, you have the new moon in Aries. It's time to take action. There you go, bam, okay. So I take from that card, it's time to take action in terms of like getting real and changing your mindset, trying not to focus too much on what you don't have and focusing on what you do have. But in terms of actually taking action, in terms of getting real with what it is that you're working on with your job, like focusing intently more on your job, not like getting distracted by things that aren't working for you outside of work. There's a real need, I think, for Pile 3 to focus on being in the moment more, is what I'm getting from the cards too. Instead of like allowing your mind to be consumed by fear and anxiety about what you have to do in the future, not having enough money to pay the bills, wondering how you're going to get out of debt potentially if you're having some money problems, Pile 3. Focusing on the now with everything that you do. When you're at work, just throw yourself into work and commit yourself to work. Take action on those things that you need to do in the moment, because then you're doing it more completely. It's more efficient in a sense. You're not distracted. You don't have to go back and like do your work again. You don't have to amend any errors you've made. But also people notice it too when you're in the moment and thoroughly throwing yourself into whatever you're doing. People can see that you're invested. People can see that you're actually paying attention. And you have the waning moon. What do you need to release? I love how that blue goes right next to the reconsider card, all about your mind, the things that you say to yourself. What do you need to release? This is a group that has a strong like scarcity mentality, I think. You may have had some hardships in your life, and I empathize with that Pile 3. But focusing on the past and what didn't work is only creating that in your reality more and more. You need to like try and focus on the now and start working out what it is that you can change right now that will allow for your future to unfold the way that you want. And it really just starts with changing your mindset. When you have a thought about, oh, I can't pay the bills, I don't have enough money, you go, no, it'll be okay. I'll find a way to get through this month, and next month will be easier. If you're thinking like, oh, I'll never be successful, I'm not good enough, like, cut that thought off and go, no, I am good at what I do. They hired me for a reason. I'm good at what I do. I just need to focus on it more and pay more attention to my work. Replace those thoughts with more positive and uplifting and affirming thoughts to start with. But also there's a message here too about getting real, like changing bad habits. If this is a group that maybe is really bad with money and you spend too much money as soon as you get the money, maybe trying to put money aside when you get the money and put it into an account that you can't touch. Or maybe giving money to somebody else that can look after it for you that's better with money. Paying your bills straight off and on time so that you've got all of your debts out of the way, and then you can just like learn to live off what you do have. So thinking about like habits that you can create in your life right now also that will allow for more abundance to grow. Moving on from that, let's get some further messages for you, pile 3, from the Commonplace Tarot deck. Spirit, can we get some further messages, please, for pile number 3? Ooh, oh wow, beautiful card. That's fallen out in the upright position too, lovely. Oop. So your first card is the Ten of Pentacles, which is the ultimate success and abundance. So you've got the Prosperity card there, and the Ten of Pentacles. And in this deck, it's if you can see that, it's kind of like it's a loving family, in almost as if they're taking a photo, right? Like it's a family portrait where you have everything in life that you actually want. So I do see your dreams coming true, pile 3. Life isn't not only what is, but is about what can be. If you start to make those practical changes now and really start to change and believe in yourself, then that's the first step to creating more abundance in your life, absolutely. If you want a family and you want to like live that happy family bliss, then it's on the way. But you've got the Ten of Pentacles, which is the most abundant card in the tarot deck, essentially. Having the money that you need to be able to support yourself, your family, and the people that you love. Ah, yes. Spirit, any further messages, please, for pile number 3? Okay, there's 4 cards for you. Your next card is a Hierophant in reverse, which I think came out for pile 1 too. So there may be some strong messages there for you, pile 1 also. If you were deliberating between these piles, I'd go back and have a look at that one also. You have the 4 of Wands in reverse. And you have the 7 of Wands, okay. Interesting. Wands energy there is like about passion. Fire. You've got the full moon in Aries too. It's time to take action. And with the 4 of Wands in reverse, this is about getting outdoors and doing things. As I mentioned earlier, maybe because you struggle with money, pile 3, you may have a scarcity mindset, so you'd hold on to the money that you keep. You don't allow that energy to flow through you, in a sense. I think you need to just get out and live life again. Try to like focus on things that make you feel good about yourself. The 4 of Wands is about going out and doing things, in a sense, not staying at home. But with the Hierophant there in reverse and the 7 of Wands, I sense that you have troubles like committing to things, pile 3. And I don't mean that to be hard or negative. I mean, we've all got lessons to learn in life. So the things that you're going through right now that are really difficult, remember, are just lessons that you're learning. And in time, you'll be able to look back when you've overcome these challenges and realize that you've grown as a person. There's definitely a need for you to commit to certain like practices that will allow you to grow abundance. And I think, one, it's about changing your mindset and changing any sort of negative thoughts, hopefully into more positive thoughts, and choosing to be more positive about yourself and believing in yourself. But 2, it's about making like practical habits right now in reality that allow you to create more abundance and success in your life. As I mentioned earlier, maybe starting an account where you can't access and putting money aside as soon as you get paid, paying your bills and your debts straight off the bat so you don't have to worry about them. And getting like grounded and practical day in, day out about the things that you need to do to be able to like pay off your debts and create more abundance in your life. I do see this as a group that actually can have a lot of motivation. So there is a lot of fire in this reading, right? Which is all about passion and inspiration, spontaneity in a sense. I think maybe you're spontaneous in some ways in terms of maybe spending money too quickly when you get it, pile 3, or splurging sometimes on things that you want straight off the bat without actually really sitting down and thinking through whether it's time to buy that thing or not right now, or maybe if you should wait for the future and purchase something a little bit later. But with all of this fire, right, you can actually turn this into something sort of productive and proactive by investing that spontaneous energy into like focusing more on your work, getting in the now, and actually like creating habits that allow you to save money and put money aside, in a sense. So there's definitely positives coming out of this reading. Remembering also that you'd have the prosperity card there, which I think is a really positive omen, along with the Ten of Pentacles. These two cards really indicate a lot of success, prosperity, and abundance in your future. If you choose to change your thought patterns and maybe the habits you have of surrounding money and the way that you see money, in a sense. Moving on from that, let's get a message, a closeout message for you from the Universe Has Your Back deck. Spirit, can we get a closeout message, please, for pile number 3? How can they create more abundance and success in their life? Close that message, please, Spirit, for pile number 3. There you go. In any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. Right. This card talks to me. I love the blue in it too, about changing your mindset, the things that you tell yourself, being more positive in a sense. Communicating positivity yourself, pile 3. This card really talks to me once again about getting in the moment, about focusing on what you can do right now and not allowing your mind to drift off about the mistakes you've made in the past, or to start fretting and worrying about what you need to do in the future and what you need to pay in the future. In meditation and contemplation is where you still your mind, quieten your mind, and only focus on the now, the current situation that you're in. So this card is a good practice in terms of actually being able to live in the now, live in the current moment, and not fretting too much about things that are out of your control, in a sense, and controlling the things that you can control right now. That's all I have for you, pile 3. I hope that resonates with you. If it does, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, if you felt like this was beneficial to you and it might benefit some friends or family that you know that are going through certain struggles, I'd love it if you could share it on with them. That would be great. I wish you a beautiful day, and let's move on to pile 4. Hello, welcome pile 4 with the lovely Harlequin Jasper Heart. I almost forgot what it was called. Let's find out how you can create more abundance and success in your life. We'll start with your oracle cards. Your first card is abundance mindset. There you go, abundance mindset. If you think of your abundance as something that happens in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. See, feel, think, and speak of abundance as something you already have in the present moment. Okay, and that is what you will experience. This is kind of similar to pile 3 in a sense, about choosing to believe that you already have what it is that you want for the future, feeling as if you've already got the success that you want, and it allows you to attract more of that success in a sense. I love in this card, there's lots of like coins and money and riches just flowing out of the angel. It's really beautiful. I do see this as a positive omen that you will have abundance in the future, pile 4, absolutely. You have number 21 in Shadow Treasures. And you're the card of meditation brings answers. Beautiful. We'll start with those 3 cards. Okay. Well, with 21 in Shadow Treasures, the meditation brings answers. I think for you, pile 4, there's a need for you to start to allow yourself to see things that maybe aren't true in your life. With Shadow Treasures here, that does tend to talk about doing some shadow work, and don't get scared by that, pile 4. We kind of, all, in a way, do it naturally as we grow and evolve, in a sense. It's not something that you can consciously choose to do, absolutely, but the more we focus on what it is that we want from life and becoming a better person so that we can achieve the things that we want from life, the more we start to actually see what's true in our own reality and who we are as a person. And shadow work just kind of happens as a side product of that. And what is shadow work? Shadow work is kind of shining a light on those aspects of ourselves that either we were in denial of, or that we were ashamed of and didn't want to admit to ourselves, or even like habits or addictions or patterns that we know aren't good for us, but we were maybe too afraid or didn't have the confidence to try and change in the past. So I do see that you're at a point here with the meditation brings answers. I think you're being called from these 3 cards to maybe take some time right now to try and work out what it is that's not working for you in your life, basically, to see any patterns for what they are and accept them for what they are, and maybe choose consciously to start making changes that will allow you to break free from patterns that aren't working for you. So this is a group that may have potentially some bad habits or addictions. You may have some issues with money. I'm sensing pile 4 if you're watching this video, which is all about abundance and success. You may have some like mindsets associated with a lacking or scarcity mentality, finding money hard to come by. It does say in the abundance mindset about always seeing money and success as something that happens in the future, but choosing to see that you have that in your current reality right now. So I do think that if you choose to actually spend some time thinking about and getting real and honest with yourself about what needs to change in your life and what is really holding you back from achieving the things that you want from life, that will be really beneficial for you, Power 4. And then actually believing in yourself and starting to do those things day in, day out that break you free from those habits. It just starts with one day, and with that one day choosing not to do something that you know is not good for you, or choosing to do something that you maybe have been afraid or avoiding doing in the past. I know when I was going through a really dark phase in my life about 3 or 4 years ago, where I was in a job that I was desperately unhappy with. I had some really, really bad money habits that I'll talk about in future videos when I feel more confident to talk about those things. I had some addictions that I knew weren't working for me that I needed to break free from. I was kind of avoiding all of those things because in a way I was using those things as a distraction for the fact that I was unhappy with my life. I would maybe drink too much or do things that I knew weren't good for me as a way of taking my mind off my problems, but those things in a way became their own problems. So I think maybe for you, Pile 4, if there are things that you do to try and distract yourself from the current situation that you're in, you need to maybe spend some time thinking about whether those things are actually good for you, and if maybe they're distracting you from actually progressing in life and being the person that you want. And it does get easier over time. I've made a lot of changes in my life, but it starts with just choosing one thing and working on that. And when you break free of a certain habit, you feel more inspired to keep going and changing more habits and breaking free of other patterns that aren't working for you. And in, day out, it gets easier. And before you know it, you're doing something that you thoroughly love and enjoy, and life is so much better. I do see abundance coming your way. It's also interesting that you've got the Shadow Treasures card here. So when you do start to shine a light on those aspects of yourself that you're not too proud of, or that you need to change and you've been avoiding, it unveils things about yourself that you didn't know, in a sense. Or at least it shines a light on the truth, so you can change your mindset about certain personality traits and stuff. I always used to think that no one would want to hear my voice. That I used to have issues with mumbling in my past and stuttering when I was a child, and people would tell me to speak up all the time or stop mumbling, or I'd have to repeat sentences over and over when I was stuttering and nervous. And it took me a long time to change that. And because of that, I confirmed to myself that no one would want to hear anything that I've got to say. But I've started to find my own confidence and belief. And with people actually enjoying my videos, it's given me more confidence in a sense. So doing shadow work allows you to actually see things that are really true for you. You start to see things that maybe you thought were not so good about yourself as actually being a blessing or a gift, even something that's actually a strength of yours. Like your individual unique traits are actually something that maybe can create more abundance for you, Pile 4, if you allow yourself to try not to be too hard on yourself, in a sense. Interesting. So not only do I think the shadow work will be good for you in terms of actually being honest about what it is that you need to change in your life, but it's good for you in terms of actually being honest about who you are as a person and what strengths you have to offer, that in a sense can be like a resource that leads you towards more abundance and growth in your life. Beautiful. Moving on. Ah, there you go. We have the new moon in Aquarius. Bring love to the situation. I really see that being about you learning to love yourself. Not to say that you don't already, pile 4, but I just think that there's always more that we can do, right? If you've done shadow work, there's always more that you can do. If you surrender certain habits in your life that weren't working, there's always more things that you can get on top of and get real about that will take you one step closer to being more practical and grounded in life. And you have the cardinal moon. Be bold and make the first move. Lovely. Interestingly, you've got the meditation brings answers cards. Along with these two cards, I'm drawn to like the violet and the purple, the indigo in these colors. I just think also if you want to create more abundance in your life and more success, pile 4, that your guides are trying to connect to you through meditation. Your guides are trying to like insert wisdom and knowledge into your brain, or allow you to unveil that inner truth in a sense through meditation. So maybe pay attention to the thoughts that you have when you're in meditation. If you clear your mind and something suddenly pops into your mind and it's an epiphany and an understanding, pay attention to that and keep note of it, because I think they're messages that your guides are trying to give you that will lead you closer to doing the things that you're supposed to do with your life, like your soul's purpose, or even provide knowledge and insight as to how you can maybe tackle a challenge that you've had in the past from a different angle, or what it is you need to do to break free from a certain pattern. Through meditation and contemplation, I think for you, pile 4 is very important, because it'll allow you to actually unveil hidden truths within that that I think are important for us all to like lead towards creating more abundance and satisfaction and happiness in our life, in a sense. But I also see here with these two cards, bring love into the situation and be bold and make the first move. I just think that there's maybe something that you've always wanted to do, pile 4. Is there something that you've wanted to do in your life? Make a change in a sense. Is there a creative talent that you have that you want to focus on? Have you always wanted to start a side business, or maybe start a YouTube channel like me? Maybe start a business on Amazon or something like that, or the stocks or something you've always thought about doing but have never had the confidence to do in the past. You've been a little too afraid to take that risk. I think you're also being called to maybe give that a shot too. To maybe spend some of your time focusing on work and doing the things that actually bring in money, but maybe choosing to try something new that you've always wanted to start that could grow into something bigger and better and create more abundance in your life is what I'm getting from those cards. Absolutely. Put yourself out there in a sense and take a risk. Do the things that you've always wanted to try. But there's most definitely a message here for you too, pile 4, about just trying to be in the moment, not stressing about the future. It does say in the mindset card about like choosing to believe that you have that abundance within right now. And with the meditation brings the answers card here, trying to quieten your mind about any stresses or negativity that you may have that are preventing you from like taking a risk and doing the things that you love, in a sense, is what I'm getting. Interesting. Moving on from that, let's see if there's any further messages for you from the Commonplace Tarot deck. Ooh. Oh, wow. You have the 7 of Pentacles, which is beautiful. Starting to see the rewards for your efforts. I do sense that you've already started to make changes in your life, pile 4, that you've started to shine a light on those shadow attributes that maybe you didn't want to look at in the past. And because of it, you're really starting to see what skills you have, what gifts you have, what makes you unique and different. Oh, okay, yep. Ooh. But there's still work to do, I can see here from the cards, definitely pile 4. Spirit, any further messages, please, for pile number 4? How they can create more success and abundance in their life. So we'll focus on the 3 cards that you've got there by the looks. Oh no, there's one more. Okay, so the 3 cards that you have already, pile 4, you have the 5 of Pentacles. Which, in this deck, I find really beautiful. Like, you can see the man here kind of caressing and holding and nurturing the woman that maybe you've been through a really hard time. I'm just feeling getting the tingles here. Maybe you've had a really rough past, pile 4, and things didn't work out for you. You may have had heartbreak, potentially a perceived failure in a business venture, or you've lost your job even. So there's definitely a scarcity mindset here too, with the Five of Pentacles and the abundance mindset about maybe feeling as if you'll never have that money that will allow you to live the life that you want. Interesting though that, as I mentioned earlier, this man is caressing this woman, and you've got to bring love into the situation. I just get a feeling that maybe if you focus on what you do have in life right now that you can be grateful for, that will also allow you to see that you're actually doing okay, that things are all right in your life. And when you start to feel okay, you radiate positivity, and that positivity draws more like positive energy towards you, in a sense, like the law of attraction. So focus on the things that you do love right now. Like if you've got a loving partner and they're there to support you and love you and lift you up, then that's something that is really amazing and beautiful. If you have a house over your head and you can come home to like security every day and sleep in a nice warm bed at night, then that's amazing. You're doing better than a lot of people in the world. If you can eat fresh food and you can breathe without any difficulty, you're doing okay, right? Like life is good already if you choose to see the positives in what you have currently, powerful. With the Eight of Swords there, this is once again indicating that you're in your own mind too much, that you're focusing on like a scarcity mindset I'm getting with the abundance mindset there. That you're in your own prison. I do sense that you're focusing on maybe a lacking mentality, that you've been worried about money because you don't have money, and because you worry about it so much more, you're kind of like preventing yourself from seeing the blessings that you have right now. So choosing to be very conscious about the thoughts that you're having around like your own abilities, around your self-worth, and also around money, the things that you think around money in a sense. But you're on your way. You have the Seven of Pentacles, as I mentioned earlier. Like starting to see the rewards for your efforts. I do sense you're trying to break free of these habits, but you know, old habits die hard, powerful. It takes time to change things that we've been focusing on for a long time. If you've been believing for a very long time that money is hard to come by, and that you'll never have money, and money and success and abundance is always something in the future, then it takes time to break that habit to really see the blessings that we have right now. And your final card is a Hierophant in the upright position. This is really interesting because this has come out for 3 of the 4. It's come out for 3 of the 4 readings, but they were in the reverse position for the other readings. I see with you, with these 2 cards, the Seven of Pentacles and the Hierophant in the upright position, that you are getting real about the things that you need to change in your life. You're starting to make changes that are starting to bring positivity back into your life, in a sense. You're breaking free of this negative mindset, and starting to see the blessings that you have in your life. But I also see here too, with the Hierophant talking about like inner wisdom, like spiritual wisdom in a sense, falling under the meditation brings answers, starting to unveil those inner truths about yourself, about who you really are and what gifts you have to offer, starting to unveil the knowledge and insight about what you need to do to make changes that bring you closer to achieving success in your life, but also starting to see success, right? With the Seven of Pentacles here, this is like starting to see the rewards in a very tangible, real, earthly realm. Like you may have made changes already in your life that are actually starting to see money grow and starting to feel more abundant and successful. So good for you, Pile 4. It's all about continuing to do that and breaking free from this negative mindset about not having money. Moving on, let's get a closeout message for you from the Universe Has Your Back deck. Spirit, can we get a closeout message for pile number 4? We're starting to break free from like believing that money is hard to come by. Starting to see the blessings in life again. Being grateful and appreciative of what they have around them. Further message, please. Closeout message for pile number 4, please, Spirit. There it is, okay. My happiness is a direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe. Beautiful, okay. So I think through meditation and contemplation, pile 4, once again, I'm drawn to the colors, the blue and the sort of the indigo and the purple here. Strong synchronicity in colors, like of connection to spirit in a sense, like choosing to like have faith and change your mindset about your reality in a sense, believing that if you dedicate yourself to something bigger than yourself, that you are guided and you are supported and you will be led towards having success in your life, in a sense, is what I'm getting. I just see you really starting to believe in yourself, Pile 4, and you're starting to see the rewards for it, most definitely. You are changing those bad habits and changing your mindset, and slowly but surely, you're growing confidence and seeing the success come your way. Beautiful reading for you, Pile 4. That's all I have for you. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, if you felt this was beneficial and it might benefit somebody else that you know that's going through some hardships right now, I'd really love it if you could share it on with them. That would be great. I wish you a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.